Welcome back to our AWS certification series. If you haven't seen the previous videos, we recommend checking them out first to review earlier questions along with their answers and explanations. Now, let's dive into the next set of questions. Which AWS feature functions as a virtual firewall for EC2 instances to control inbound and outbound traffic? Correct answer: Security Group. Explanation: Security groups are virtual firewalls that control inbound and outbound traffic to EC2 instances. They are stateful and allow configuration of rules by port, protocol, and IP. Why others are incorrect? Amazon VPC, it's the broader networking environment, not a firewall. Network ACL acts at the subnet level, not at the EC2 instance level. Elastic Network Interface, a virtual network card, not a firewall. Which AWS service can convert written text into realistic, human-like speech? Correct answer: Amazon Polly. Explanation: Amazon Polly is a service that converts text into lifelike speech using deep learning-based speech synthesis. Why others are incorrect? Recognition, used for image and video analysis, not speech. Kendra, intelligent search engine, not for text-to-speech. Connect, cloud contact center, not speech synthesis. Which AWS service is used for managing and using encryption keys to encrypt data at rest? Correct answer: AWS KMS. Explanation: AWS Key Management Service allows users to create and manage encryption keys and control their use across a wide range of AWS services to secure data at rest. Why others are incorrect? Shield DDoS protection, not related to encryption. Security Hub centralizes security alerts, not key management. Guard Duty threat detection, not used for encryption. A company needs to convert multimedia files into formats compatible with mobile and web devices. Which AWS service is designed for this task? Correct answer: Amazon Elastic Transcoder. Explanation: Amazon Elastic Transcoder is designed to convert media files into various formats optimized for smartphones, tablets, and web browsers. Why others are incorrect? Glue, used for ETL tasks in data processing, not media transcoding. Recognition, for image and video analysis, not transcoding. Comprehend performs natural language processing, not media conversion. Which AWS service allows you to register and manage domain names for your website? Correct answer: Amazon Route 53. Explanation: Amazon Route 53 is AWS Scalable Domain Name System web service that allows domain registration, DNS routing, and health check. Why others are incorrect? Lambda Serverless Compute Service, not for DNS. CloudFront, Content Delivery Network, not for hosting domain names. Direct Connect, provides dedicated network connection, not DNS service. A company wants to deliver updates to its website quickly to reduce time to market. Which AWS benefit does this demonstrate? Correct answer: Agility. Explanation: Agility refers to the ability to rapidly develop, test, and launch applications or features using AWS resources, reducing time to market. Why others are incorrect. High availability ensures uptime, not related to speed of innovation. Elasticity, related to scaling up-down based on demand. Reliability, relates to system availability and fault tolerance. How can a company categorize and track its AWS usage and costs for resources? Correct answer. Use cost allocation tags. Explanation. Cost allocation tags allow you to assign metadata to AWS resources, making it easier to track usage and cost for each tag in billing report. Why others are incorrect. IAM manages user permissions, not cost tracking. Organizations manages accounts, not detailed resource cost tracking. Coverage report shows reserved instances coverage, not resource-level cost categorization. Which pillar of the AWS well-architected framework emphasizes continuous improvement of processes and operations? Correct answer. Operational excellence. Explanation. Operational excellence focuses on operations automation, monitoring, and continuous improvement of systems and processes. Why others are incorrect. Cost optimization focuses on reducing costs. Performance efficiency optimizes performance, not process improvement. Reliability ensures systems can recover from failure and meet uptime goals. A company wants to improve input-output performance on its Amazon RDS database. Which AWS service can help? Correct answer. Amazon Elasticache. Explanation. Amazon Elasticache improves performance of databases like RDS by caching frequently accessed data, reducing read load on the database. Why others are incorrect. DAX caching for DynamoDB, not RDS. Redshift Analytics Database, not for transactional workload acceleration. EMR Big Data Processing, not related to database caching. Which AWS service provides security assessment reports showing unintended network access and OS-level vulnerabilities for EC2 instances? Correct answer. Amazon Inspector. Explanation. Amazon Inspector runs automated security assessments on EC2 instances, checking for OS vulnerabilities and unwanted network exposure. Why others are incorrect. Macy Data Protection for PII, not vulnerability scanning. Trusted Advisor provides general best practice checks, not deep security scanning. Security groups control access but don't provide assessment report. A company is designing a multi-tier application using Amazon EC2 and wants to restrict network traffic between tiers based on the principle of least privilege. Which AWS feature should be used to enforce this? Correct answer. Security group. Explanation. Security groups act as virtual firewalls for EC2 instances. They control inbound and outbound traffic and can be configured to allow access only to specific instances or ports, aligning with the principle of least privilege. Why others are incorrect. AWS Shield protects against DDoS attacks, not used for internal traffic filtering. Direct Connect Gateway connects VPCs to on-premise networks, not used for routing rules between EC2s. Global Accelerator improves performance for global users, not network-level traffic restriction within a VPC. A small company with limited cloud experience needs to quickly migrate a website and its database to AWS. Which AWS service is best suited for this simple setup? Correct answer: Amazon Lightsail. Explanation: Lightsail is designed for simplicity and includes everything needed to deploy and manage small websites and databases, with minimal cloud experience required. Why others are incorrect? EC2 offers more control but requires more configuration and management. Lambda 4 serverless functions, not suitable for full websites and relational databases. S3 object storage, not suitable to host dynamic websites with databases. A company wants to determine the sentiment in customer feedback emails. Which AWS service should they use? Correct answer: Amazon Comprehend. Explanation: Amazon Comprehend uses natural language processing to extract insights from text, including sentiment analysis. Why others are incorrect? Recognition, used for image and video analysis. Translate translates text between languages. Textract extracts text from scanned documents. According to the AWS Shared Responsibility Model, who is responsible for patching the operating system on EC2 instances? Correct answer: the customer only. Explanation: Under the shared responsibility model, customers are responsible for managing and patching the OS on EC2 instances. AWS handles the security of the infrastructure. Why others are incorrect? AWS only. AWS does not manage the EC2 OS. EC2 hardware manufacturer, not responsible for software patching. Both, only the customer is responsible for OS patching. Which AWS service extends AWS infrastructure and services to on-premises data centers and colocation environments, supporting hybrid cloud use cases? Correct answer: AWS Outposts. Explanation: AWS Outposts allows you to run AWS services locally on-premises, making it ideal for hybrid cloud architectures. Why others are incorrect? Snowmobile, used for petabyte-scale data transfer, not hybrid deployment. Local zones, brings AWS compute closer to users in metro areas but not on-prem. Fargate serverless compute engine for containers, doesn't support hybrid deployment. A company reduced its deployment cycle from 3-4 weeks to 2-3 days after moving to AWS. What benefit of the cloud does this demonstrate? Correct answer: agility. Explanation: Agility in the cloud enables faster innovation, deployment, and iteration due to quick access to resources and automation capabilities. Why others are incorrect? Elasticity refers to automatically scaling resources. Flexibility refers to choosing tools and architectures. Resilience refers to fault tolerance and availability. Which AWS billing and cost management tool provides a graphical visualization of usage and cost over time? Correct answer: Cost Explorer. Explanation: AWS Cost Explorer provides visualizations and graphs to analyze your usage and spending trends over time. Why others are incorrect. Cost and Usage Report provides raw CSV files, not visual. Bills shows current charges, no trend analysis or graph. Budget helps set limits and alerts but doesn't provide detailed trend visualization. A company is willing to commit to a specific amount of usage for a year in exchange for cost savings. Which pricing model should it choose? Correct answer: savings plans. Explanation: savings plans offer significant discounts in exchange for a commitment to a consistent amount of usage over 1 or 3 years. Why others are incorrect. Free tier offers limited free usage, not for long-term savings. Pay-as-you-go, no commitments, no savings. Volume discounts apply only after reaching high usage levels, less predictable. A company runs multiple Linux EC2 instances across multiple AZs and wants to share files between them. Which AWS service meets this requirement? Correct answer: Amazon EFS. Explanation: Amazon Elastic File System provides shared file storage that can be mounted on multiple EC2 instances across availability zones. Why others are incorrect. EBS attached to a single instance, not shared. Snowball Edge data transfer device, not shared storage. AWS Backup used for backup management, not active file sharing. A company wants centralized management of AWS accounts for different departments under a single master account. Which service should it use? Correct answer: AWS Organizations. Explanation: AWS Organizations allows management of multiple AWS accounts under a single master account, enabling centralized billing, policy control, and access governance. Why others are incorrect. IAM manages users and roles within a single account. Resource Access Manager shares resources across accounts, not for account management. Billing manages cost info, not account grouping or policy control. Which of the following AWS services is considered a serverless offering? Correct answer: Amazon API Gateway. Explanation: Amazon API Gateway is a fully managed, serverless service that enables developers to create, publish, and monitor APIs without managing servers. Why others are incorrect. AWS Snowball Edge: this is a physical data transfer appliance, not serverless. Amazon EKS manages Kubernetes clusters but still requires managing EC2 nodes or Fargate. Amazon EC2 traditional virtual servers, not serverless. Which AWS service recommends ways to optimize costs by identifying underutilized AWS resources like EC2 or RDS? Correct answer: AWS Trusted Advisor. Explanation: AWS Trusted Advisor provides real-time recommendations for cost optimization, security, fault tolerance, and performance, including right-sizing EC2, EBS, and RDS. Why others are incorrect. Amazon Inspector, used for security assessments, not cost optimization. Service Health Dashboard displays health status of AWS services, not optimization tip. Amazon Forecast, used for time series forecasting, not AWS resource right-sizing. A user wants to know when an Amazon EBS volume was detached from an EC2 instance. Which service should they use? Correct answer. AWS config. Explanation. AWS config tracks configuration changes to AWS resources, including when EBS volumes are attached or detached from EC2. Why others are incorrect. Trusted Advisor doesn't provide resource change logs. QuickSight used for data visualization and BI, not configuration history. TimeStream time series database, not related to resource configuration tracking. An elastic load balancer distributes incoming traffic across multiple. Correct answer. Availability zones. Explanation. YLBs are designed to distribute traffic across multiple EC2 instances in different availability zones, improving fault tolerance and scalability. Why others are incorrect. AWS regions. YLBs do not span regions. S3 buckets. YLBs work with EC2, not S3. Dedicated hosts. YLB balances across instances, not specific hardware hosts. Which AWS feature can be used to encrypt objects stored in Amazon S3 at rest? Correct answer. Server-side encryption. Explanation. Server-side encryption in S3 automatically encrypts data at rest using AES 256 or AWS KMS keys when it is written to disk. Why others are incorrect. Guard duty threat detection, not encryption. Client-side encryption encrypts data before uploading, not encryption at rest managed by S3. IAM policies manage access control, not encryption.